Hey there, my name is Angela, and today is all about comparing my Canon R5c to the iPhone 16 Pro. The audio that you're currently hearing is from my DJI Lavalier mic, and now the audio that you're hearing is from the iPhone 16 Pro, no mic connected. I can hook up this DJI Lavalier mic to the iPhone 16 Pro, and this is what that sounds like. This is the audio using the iPhone 16 Pro connected to my DJI Lavalier mic. This is the audio using the iPhone 16 Pro connected to my DJI Lavalier mic. By the way, I would like to mention that obviously you can rearrange the position of either the camera or the iPhone 16 Pro to have a better composition and frame, but at the moment I have my iPhone 16 Pro mounted on top of my Canon R5c, so while one will be getting ideal framing, the other one will be getting the short end of the stick and not have ideal framing. So it is what it is. You can adjust it if you need to when you have one or the other, but I thought I'd point that out so no one gives me crap about it. So this video is going to consist of a bunch of side-by-side comparison footage. For my iPhone 16 Pro, I will be shooting in 4K and using ProRes log. On the screen, you'll see which frame rate I'm using the entire time, and you'll also see the settings that I'm using for my Canon R5c. I'm going to show you which lenses I'll be using for each comparison for different zoom factors that the iPhone 16 Pro uses. But before I do that, here is what this setting looks like without any light. I have a couple studio panels set up and a window open right here, and this is how the footage compares with no lights set up. And here it is with lights set up. So hope that gives you some kind of idea. Let me show you which lenses I'm going to be using. So for this video, when the iPhone 16 Pro is set at a 0.5 times zoom or a 13mm focal length, I will be using the Canon RF 16mm lens. When the iPhone 16 Pro is set at 1 times zoom or 24mm, I will be using the RF 24-105 set at 24mm. When the iPhone 16 Pro is set at 2 times zoom or 48mm, I will be using the RF 50mm lens. And lastly, when the iPhone 16 Pro is set to 5 times zoom or 120mm, I will be using the RF 24-105 at 105mm. I don't have a longer focal length than that, so it'll have to do. In this video, I am going to compare the iPhone 16 Pro to my Canon R5c in 3 different lighting scenarios. The first lighting scenario is indoors with some natural lighting from this window. I would also like to mention that I did color correct these videos because I did shoot log for them. And as I was color correcting, I realized that the iPhone 16 Pro footage needed to have more contrast added and the blacks needed to be brought down. I also noticed that the footage was a little bit more yellow and greenish than the Canon R5c. I tried to color correct them very similarly, but I wasn't super obsessive over it and didn't want to spend too much time stuck on color correcting today. Especially because it is currently 1 in the morning and I'm still editing this video. For this video, you'll also see a lot of stationary shots, but some handheld shots shot at higher frame rates as well. By the way, this is what I am considering handheld. I have my cage on my camera and the iPhone 16 Pro mounted on top of it. The next lighting scenario I wanted to show you is midday, peak sunlight, every photographer's and videographer's least ideal situation. When I was editing these videos, the color correction was wild on them. I felt like the iPhone 16 Pro was very saturated and very green, and I think it kind of made my skin tone a little bit green as well. I also neglected to lock in the exposure for my iPhone 16 Pro, so every once in a while the footage randomly gets bright and then dips in exposure, but it is what it is. It's like 105 today in October. Dancing. I noticed while I was editing is that the iPhone 16 Pro footage is actually super smooth, especially when it's slowed down with higher frame rates. My Canon R5c does not have IBIS, which, yeah, I don't want to talk about it, but I think it's very noticeable in these videos. The final lighting scenario that I want to show you is sunset. Alright, so during this last segment of footage, I would like to talk about things that I noticed as I was shooting and editing. One, when I was shooting during midday when it was 105 degrees outside and I was shooting 120 frames per second, my iPhone 16 Pro actually started overheating and I had to take a little bit of a step back. The Canon R5c was ready to go. That's all I'm saying. Another thing is I was going to have a nighttime segment for this, but my iPhone 16 Pro died before I could get that footage. And lastly, as I was editing this and importing these videos onto my computer to edit them in Premiere Pro, the iPhone 16 Pro footage shot at ProRes log at 4K was a whopping 500 gigabytes, whereas the Canon R5c was 95 gigabytes. That is a crazy difference. It is insane how big these ProRes files are, and I pretty much shot the same amount of footage for the Canon R5c and the iPhone 16 Pro. So it has nothing to do with the amount of footage I shot, just the file size being ridiculous. I think I need to edit my settings or something, but yeah. And with that, that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and until next time, bye.